Hey guys, welcome back to week 4 of online learning. Today we are going to be talking about the volume of rectangular prisms. Before we get started, I want you to pause your video if you haven't already and complete the do now. All right, now that we have the do now completed, I want you to take this time and I want you to type in this learning target right here if you are using your computer. If you're writing it out on a piece of paper, you can go ahead and write that out now. Before we start with today's lesson, it is important that we know what is a prism. So before we go over this formula for rectangular prisms, we need to go over what a prism is. So if you look down here at the bottom, we have an example of a prism. A prism is a 3D object. It is no longer a 2D object. So now it has sides that are more than just one side, like the 2D object is. It is also important that we know that a prism has a length, a width, and a height. So the length is how long is the prism, the width is how wide, and the height is how tall. And we will talk more about that in just a minute. All right, now the next thing that we need to know is that the formula for a rectangular prism is volume equals length times width times height. And that is written right here. And you're going to need to write that every single time today. Miss Bright, why would we write it every time? It's already up at the top. Because one, it will help you learn the formula better if you're consistently doing it. But two, over the past couple of weeks, there's been a lot of packets turned in that don't have the correct answers, and we aren't sure how you're doing it because you're not showing your work all the way. So this allows us to be able to see what you are doing wrong. So for the first one, we have a rectangular prism. We want to write out V equals length times width times height, just as we wrote up earlier, or just as the formula is written out earlier. All right, so now we need to decide, what is the length, what is the width, what is the height? Well, the length is how long at the bottom the prism is. So if we look, here's our length. And we have 5. We know this side is 5, but the length is only 4. So we're going to put in 4 there. So we're going to write 4 times our width now is going to be how wide, which we said was 5, how wide it is. It's 5 centimeters wide. Times our height, which is how tall it is. So this is 9 centimeters tall. And I'm going to actually, besides just writing 4, 5, and 9, I want to write centimeters. 4 centimeters tall times 5 centimeters tall times 9 centimeters tall. I'm going to make this a little bigger so you guys can see this. Perfect. All right. So the next part's pretty easy. We are just going to multiply. In my head, when I have more than 2 numbers to multiply, it's easier for me to multiply from the front and go to the back. So I'm going to go V equals 4 centimeters times 5 centimeters. Well, 4 times 5 is what? 20. So I'm going to write 20. This time, I know we've been using the calculator, but I want to see this time if you can do it without the calculator. Most of our problems today are pretty simple, pretty easy to do without the calculator. So I'm going to challenge you today to do it without the calculator. All right, so 4 times 5 is 20, so we're going to put centimeters. Now, I have centimeters and a centimeter. So when I have 2 centimeters combined, we're going to put square. So format, text, superscript, square. So 4 centimeters times 5 centimeters is 20 centimeters square. Don't worry. Here's what we're going to do next. Times 9 centimeters. So we still had that 9 centimeters left over. So we want to bring the 9 centimeters down. So now we have 20 centimeters square times 9 centimeters square. I'm going to go underneath. I'm not done with my problem yet. So I have 20 times 9. Well, I know that I'm going to do this in my head, mental math. 9 times 2 is what? 18. And now it's 20, not 2, so I have to add an extra 0 at the end of the 18, so 180. 180 centimeters. Well, how many centimeters do I have? This says 2, and this is another one, so how many altogether? 2 plus 1 is 3. So centimeters cubed. Anytime you have volume, oops, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, it is. Okay. No, it isn't. Not text. Superscript cubed. Okay. Anytime you have volume, it's always going to be in cubed units. So either centimeters cubed, inches cubed, meters cubed, but it's always going to end in that 3 as the exponent. Let's look at number 2. On number 2, we're gonna put v equals length times width times height again, just like it's written up here in our formula. We're gonna write v equals length times width times height. We need to determine what is our length, what is our width, what is our height. So I'm gonna pull out my handy dandy color. My length is how long it is. So how long is this? Well, it says it's 12 inches long. So I'm going to fill in first one with 12 inches. Length is 12 inches times. My width is how wide it is. So how far does it go back? Well, my width is 2 inches here. 2 inches. And then my height, how tall is it? How tall does it stand? It stands at 3 inches. Keep hitting the wrong button. There we go. 3 inches. So now I'm going to have to do some mental math, and I'm going to have to find the volume of this prism. So the first thing that I need to figure out is what is 12 times 2? Well, 12 times 2 is 24. We should know that. That's a basic math fact. So we're going to put inches. Inches times inches is going to make this not just inches, but inches square. So we're going to hit format, text, superscript, square. Great. All right. And then take the superscript off. We still have 3 inches left over. Now, Miss Bright, I don't know what 24 times 3 is. Well, out to the side, if you're going to get stuck, do 24 plus 24 plus 24. Write it out on a piece of paper. 24 plus 24 plus 24. That is the same thing as 24 times 3. When you do that, you should get 72, I believe. Yeah, 72 inches. And then we have inches squared plus inches. That's going to be inches cubed. So with a 3 at the end. All right. Delete some so we can easily see. There we go. For the third one, we're looking at another prism. We want to do volume equals length times width times height. We have to determine, again, what is our length, what is our width, what is our height. So I'm going to pull out my handy dandy pen. My length is how long the base is. So how long is the base here? 4 centimeters, right. So I'm going to come down here. Volume equals 4 centimeters times how wide is it? Well, how far does it go back? 4 centimeters. 4 centimeters times 4 centimeters times, and then how tall is it? 6 centimeters. All right, volume equals, now I'm going to try to do some mental math in my head. I know 4 times 4 is what? 16. So 16 centimeters what? Square. All right, and now I still have to, that didn't take it away. Hold on. I still have to, no, sorry, I'm messing it all up. To add the 6 centimeters to that problem. So now I have 16 centimeters times 6 centimeters. Now we're going to try to do some mental math, but if you are like, Ms. Bright, I don't know what 16 times 6 is, go ahead and do 16 plus 16 plus 16 and add that 6 times. All right. When you add that all up, you should get to a total of 96 centimeters, and that's centimeters squared times centimeters, so centimeters cubed altogether. All right, and then we're on the last one as a group. So we're going to come down here. We're going to say volume equals length times width times height. Our volume then, how long is it? It's 10 meters long. How wide is it? 10 meters wide. This one's real easy. And how tall is it? 10 meters tall. All right, so now we're going to do 10 times 10. That should be easy. 10 times 10 is what? 100 meters. And we have meters times meters, which makes that meters square. All right, so meter square times 10 meters. So 100 times 10. Well, I know 1 times 1 is 1, and then I'm going to add in 1, 2, 3 zeros. So I'm at 1,000 meters. And then what should my final label be? Meters what? Meters cubed. Great. If you guys are still confused, let me trash this. If you guys are still confused on this at all, please go visit these 2 YouTube videos. They should help you a little bit and maybe give you some clarification. Also, don't hesitate to call or text me or Miss Cooper, and we will help you the best that we can. I hope